Roman I was talking about.
JVNA can do. They wait for the group's wave, they look for the turret dive, they go in earlier. But, well, let's see how So1's dancing shoes are.
Yeah, that's going to be the ward coming down. So1 going to flash to the side, goes low, and he'll get taken down. First blood moves over to score. Arrives, trying to trade one back, but
in the future, and maybe we'll see some things shut down. Speaking of shutdowns,
up top is going to be the counter-strike there. Already using the leap strike, flashes in, gets the stun in onto Pawn as Grace does arrive. Bubble not going to connect, goes in onto the Wolf and Pawn. He's going to be in a bad spot. Seismic Shove does knock away. He flashes away from Grace, but he is just going to get picked off here as Grace does find the kill. So channeling the recall, will go ahead and stop it. Jump forward, Deft going to get popped up. The Devour comes through. They're going to get the lockdown straight in onto Teddy, and he is going to get popped by the look of it. One more hit. No, flashes over the wall, keeps himself alive. Deft still skirting around the sides of the fight, now turns it onto Wraith. They lock him in with the Sejuani passive. Trying to get the kill. True shot barrage. Teddy does tumble to the side, keeps himself alive, and now Pawn is joining in the fray. Pop-up comes through. First kill going over to Umpty as he finishes off score. Wraith will fall as Pawn tries to finish off the Jax. One more hit would do it. There you go. Deft able to take him down.
That'll be the catch up in minions. The minimap, I think, tells a lot of story here. Score getting the ultimate onto Teddy, you would have thought would have been first blood. That doesn't happen. But we watched this bot side already. Let's talk about what's happening on the minimap. Talia will always roam down first. Because Gnar had so early roam, they already had the turret top side, he was able to keep Zoe in lane. Zoe never got to bot to try to turn this around. Outnumbered means that JVNA do pick up the kills. Teddy escapes with his life, but the turret and his teammates aren't so fortunate.
That GP as he possibly can be, and showing through with the CS. He finds himself at 180, but pulverized there from Wraith. Gets knocked down to about half HP. Score arrives. Pops him with the ultimate. He'll get locked in. Now Smith coming in from the backside. Pushes Teddy in. Gets the wall up. The seismic shove from Pawn. They'll take him down. 3 members instantly dead on the side of JVNA as KT. Now
no freedom here is it's stolen.
From downtown, Deft all the way back in the bases. Barely gets clipped by that.
And it's just good news stories on the minimap as well. 3 control wards in a straight line denying JVNA from ever responding to bot side. Big
three-man pulverize coming through here. Devour comes down, Mata flashing away to spit Deft out on the other side. He's cutting his way back, nearly kills Teddy and forces out the heal. But there we go, Paddle Star from Grace finds his mark, takes out Deft.
The control wars that ruined their day in the bot side. So important. This is all started by Wraith. Really impressive there. He headbutted a minion and taxied it, flashed for the pulverize on 3. Surprised KT, who didn't die initially. Here comes the Paddle Star, max range. Can't E out of that late, it's not a Blitzcrank hook. Sorry, Deft, you're dead. From there, Mata isn't even able to pop the Grey Health. For some reason, is poking with Q.
Onto Mata, and Deft is actually ready to body block the Paddle Star. Bold of him there with the Ezreal as we'll see the fight break out. A Missile Voyage there from Mata. Here in the mid lane to get the seismic shove in on the Wraith. He goes low. Can they get the Devourer? He's ready to die, and you see Mata, he doesn't want to take the kill. And once they hand it over to the carries, and Deft will be able to pick it up. Deft now trading back in onto Grace. Gets a couple hits, burns him down to about half HP, and KT will finally take out that inner turret in mid as Smeb goes in for the exchange here onto So1 right before that Mega Gnar expires. Works him down low, has him slowed up. They're going to be looking for the finish onto the GP. Flashes to the other side. Seismic shove comes through. Buddy's got the stopwatch to stay alive for a little bit longer. There's no way for him to get out. He goes down. Ultimate connects in onto Umpty. Takes a leap strike, a short one to the side. Dives in, charges forward, pops him up. The counter strike buys a little bit more time, but he will inevitably fall as Pawn finds the kill, and KT are just charging through.
KT looking to ice the game with a Baron.
Yep, Grace has got the TP ready to go. We'll go ahead and cast that one out.
With Umpty dead, they have to start a fight soon.
He's a siege mage. Even getting the pokes out here is not going to do a whole lot. They do find one on the Smeb. 3-man pulverize coming through for Wraith yet again as the Baron goes low, but the smite is there from Score. They take it away. Smeb going to jump over the wall. Deft following suit. Will get themselves out alive. And it seems like Score might be left for dead. He will go down.
Carry players around the world felt such a rush of blood there, seeing Deft go aggressive onto the Zoe. No one-shots on this Ezreal.
A Freak feels vindicated as Deft goes into the melee range. Wraith now getting chunked out. Will get Seismic shoved back in. Looks like he is just going to get melted as Smeb finds the kill. Score taking the turret here for the moment as he gets knocked down below half HP, and Smeb running amok into the back line. Chunking.
there, Green Wings, and we wait for the shot and the inevitable end. Baron buff power play should close the game.
Yeah, very well may end this game deathless, but he's had a very lackluster performance compared to his former one. Weaver's Wall coming through, cutting off a couple members here. Teddy contained on the other side as Med threatens in the sidelines. The lockdown comes in, and that's going to be Grace getting popped this time around. Cannot escape as a double kill comes through for Smith. Pushes everybody into the wall up. Takes him down, feeds a double kill straight over on the Deft, and can do nothing but watch. He'll get finished off right at the end. Triple kill to Deft to finish things off. The kills exploding for the final ace, and KT will just go ahead and clear out the final map there. 2-0 over to them.
And we always know with KT Rolster in this iteration, when the early game goes their way is when they're most comfortable. Doesn't mean they always win, but this was one of those games where they iced it early. It felt like they were always one step ahead, even 2 steps ahead of Jin Air, and the Zoe was left stranded. That's what can happen against Zoe. Her snowball is disgusting, but when she's behind, she can be a passenger. Ended up being a passenger here. KT tanking inhibitor turrets very early into the game with how wantonly tanky the Sejuani ended up being. Sejuani, one of the best ways to answer a Zoe, just because of the Paddle Star's predictability, so the ultimate victory on the portal jump. Jin Air were taken down 2-0. We wondered how good Jin Air, it seems closer to 2017 than perhaps they would want to be. In 2017, they were able to beat up on the lower teams, but struggled to actually take out the top 3, the top 4. Those top 4 aspirations, that 4th spot aspirations, take a pretty big hit as they are significantly behind KT Rolster based on today's evidence.
Yeah. About falling down around Kong.